Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, boosting ties with Russia.
I'm here today to reaffirm our strong commitment to build a robust and comprehensive partnership with the Russian Federation.
Following the president's 5-day visit to the country's newfound ally.
We are prepared to develop our partnership when it comes to countering terrorism and share our experience and all the developments.
10 business deals signed and a promise of cooperation on nuclear power.
I cannot affirm or deny that because that's part of the proposals.
Also, as holiday season approaches, the impact of African swine fever cases on meat products.
At least ito siguro makikita na mababawasan kung may penalty.
Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez joins us live. Thank you for joining us. Sitting in for Pinky Web, I'm Ruth Cabal. President Rodrigo Duterte in the country following his 5-day visit to Russia, which government officials say reinvigorated our ties with Russia. The president says he has signed over 600 million pesos worth of business deals with Moscow. He is now exploring a proposal on the possible construction of nuclear power plants in the country. Also here at home, how is the Trade Department addressing the impact of African swine fever to pork products and prices ahead of the holiday season? Let's go straight to the source of the story, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez. Good morning, Secretary.
Good morning, Ruth. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, first things first, you just got back the other night from Russia. Can you tell us about the trip? How would you describe it?
Well, it's really very, very exciting and amazing to look into the opportunities because this is, I guess, the first or the beginning of what we can see as a fruitful, much stronger relationship between Philippines and Russia. Russia is considered as a non-traditional market. We've not been exporting or trading much with Russia except that we buy oil, we buy wheat from them, and at the same time, we sell a few of our agriculture products, coconut, desiccated coconut, carrageenan, electronics, and in the recent visit, we're basically opening up, more opportunities for exporters to sell the market, their products to the Russian market. So it's really a good time because of President Duterte's good relationship with the President of Russia, President Putin, and Russia has indicated that they will be opening wide the market access for Philippine products. This really, we would say, the start of a much stronger relationship. We've been always looking at the West, the Europe, and US and ASEAN, but now looking into Russia, China, the non-traditional markets would really bring more opportunities for the exporters of Philippines, and of course, providing more opportunities na, for jobs, employment, and higher income for Filipinos.
Puntahan ko lang yung una mong sinabi mo na, Secretary, about President Putin. How are the two leaders? How would you describe yung nakita mo silang dalawa?
Maganda yung rapport ng bawat isa. They supporting each other, and you can sense that President Putin has high respect for President Duterte. He sees the president as really sincere, just helping serving the Filipino people. Nakikita niya yung potential din ng mas malakas pa na relationship, trading relationship, as well as yung mga ibang pinag-uusapan on security cooperation, anti-terrorism. But maganda yung respect ng bawat isa sa pagdating sa pagtingin ng, respecting Philippine sovereignty, how they supported also the war against, during the Marawi siege, anti-terrorism. Russia has been helping the Philippines, and very grateful ang ating Pangulo doon, at dahil doon talagang bukas loob siya na nakikipagkaibigan sa lahat ng mga bansa na tumutulong sa Pilipinas nang walang kondisyon.
Let's also note na several times din the President mentioned na idol niya nga itong si President Putin.
Oo, nabanggit niya kasi nakita niya rin siguro yung pagka-sincere leadership ng President Putin. Ganun lang, focus lang sila sa pag-serve sa kanilang bayan.
Okay, we have the President talking about the visit, no? Nung pagbalik niya, let's listen briefly to his statement.
Why I have to talk to the cabinet. I cannot affirm or deny that because that's part of the proposals. The hard line would come after I shall have consulted with everybody concerned, including people of the industry affected. If it's food, then it's agriculture. If it is energy, then Secretary Ramon. If there is something in that agreement that would require the consent of Congress, then you have to go to Congress and argue your case before that body.
Okay, Secretary, in this particular soundbite, the President is actually talking about the nuclear deal, no, which is part of the 10 business deals that were signed. Can you just tell us more about the deals first in general?
The deals covered mga food export natin to Russia. Isa to sa mga na-open up. We had to accredit some Russian firms wanting to sell, let's say, chicken products to us. On the other hand, Russia also accredited some of our suppliers of canned fish, mga canned tuna, canned sardines, coconut, milk, and other coconut products para makapag-export to the Russian market. So, big part of the deal na nalagyan ng value, yung sinasabing 600 million pesos, were basically on that. But the good thing that happened also is, as we open up all this networking, business-to-business consultations, nanganganak pa to, dumadami pa. So, in fact, during that visit, aside from these initial products and the initial markets, the distribution chain sa Russia, nadagdagan pa ng iba pang distribution chain sa Russia that can sell some of these mga canned tuna products. No? So, at baka mas malaki pa dun sa nasarang deal. So, these are opportunities opening up. On the other hand, si Russia naman is wanting to sell to us some of their mga personal lifestyle products.
Yeah, I saw watches and vehicles.
Vehicles, watches, tapos yung mga medical devices, MRI devices and equipment. So yon. And then of course they're also launching itong mga floating nuclear power plants na inumpisahan na nila, and they're also offering that to the Philippines. Tayo naman, wala pa namang siguradong deal doon kung hindi exploratory yung pinirmahan nila Secretary Cusi to explore the feasibility. Kasi yung mga floating nuclear power plants, very useful daw sa mga island provinces and island cities. Very efficient, very safe. Basta talagang with the technology now, ina-ensure nila yung safety ng ganitong power sources. And these are alternative power sources para less dependence on coal. Kasi sa paghuling data nakita ko, over 50% pa ang ating coal-based energy.
Pero, Secretary, yung kanina nga sinasabi ni Presidente, like what you said, there's nothing final, it's exploratory. Pero kasi, the President also acknowledged it might be unconstitutional, yung the use of nuclear.
Chinek naman natin yun.
Okay.
Hindi naman po unconstitutional. Pero syempre, lahat ng mga may-involved dyan sa diskusyon na yan, we'll have to assure yung safety. Yun naman ang pinaka-number one concern. Pero in terms of yung efficiency daw in giving power, yan din yung isang advanced din na technology sa ngayon na ginagamit everywhere, no, in other countries. So, kailangan i-consider din natin yon.
So, medyo matagal-tagal pa dahil pag-aaralan pa natin.
Yeah, po.
But maganda yung sinasabi nyo na it's a floating nuclear power
para
plant.
pwede mong ilayo kung may mga possible disaster, lalo na sa mga earthquake-prone areas. So, hindi siya masyadong affected doon sa mga dangers, no? Kesa kung fiction na nasa land.
But that would entail a lot of capital. Medyo malaki-laki po.
Hindi din, may mga efficient na rin sila na mga technology on this. But Kaya nga lahat ito titingnan yung feasibility. Oo, so talaga we have to explore in all this given the advent of mga new technologies. We have to open our minds to all this. Hindi pwede isara natin, no, hindi pwede yan. No? So,
Secretary, interesado lang ako, bakit tuna and ang daming agreements I'm looking at, parang 3 deals on tuna and sardine products.
Kasi, whenever we promote export, we promote many things. In fact, we continue to promote because of all this openness now. We continue to promote other products, aerospace products natin, auto parts. One big export na rin natin, wiring harness, no, for auto parts. So, tinutuloy natin yung pagbenta rin ng mga ganon. Kailangan kasi what we have to push for would be products that we can also produce, with big capacity that we have. Pagka maliit lang yung capacity natin, yes, we can promote other SME products, pero pag umorder na naman malaki, you cannot supply. So we have to really push yung kaya rin nating i-supply. Kaya isa ito na because there are companies that are ready to supply in big quantity itong mga produkto na to. And as we say, we can be competitive in these products because it's resource-based. At na-accredit na tayo, mabilis na tayo makapasok doon sa market na tuloy-tuloy na yon.
Okay. When we return, Secretary, let's talk about yung possible bilateral labor agreement kasi that was also discussed during the President's visit. We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez. Secretary, balikan lang natin yung trade deals. We're talking about a total of 650 million pesos in possible investments. Parang hindi naman siya ganun kalaki compared to the other countries, no?
Kasi sabi nga natin, nag-uumpisa pa. Tsaka ngayon pa lang na-introduce yung mga companies and tsaka yung mga produkto natin. Pero nakikita namin na napakalaking market din ito. Remember, Russia is, I think, one of the top 5 largest economies in the world. So, malaking potential. And isa pa, may complementarity ng produkto. In other words, the products that we have, that we produce, resource-based, ay yun yung wala rin sa Russia. So, marami tayong pwedeng maibenta. Kaya umpisa pa lang to. And as mentioned, in the last visit, nanganganak pa. Marami pang mga na-open up. Basta nagkakakilala yung mga companies and looking for suppliers and all that.
I was looking at the figures actually from last 2017 to 2018, nag-double na yung trade between Moscow and Manila. So what do you expect with these new deals?
Well, hopefully more than double. At saka this time, mas malaki dapat yung export natin. Kasi may trade deficit tayo. Kasi basta the Philippines is importing like oil from this country. Ang laki na kaagad ng deficit natin. We don't have oil and we have to import. So Russia is one main source of oil imports ng Philippines. Kaya a big part of our imports are on oil. But what we're trying to do also is kung nag-import tayong oil, we're convincing them to invest in the Philippines for oil and gas exploration. So isa rin ito sa tinitingnan ngayon na mga cooperation with the Department of Energy, na yung sa mga exploration and other sources of energy and power. So isa yon. Tapos they're also advanced in terms of pharmaceutical, medical devices. So we're inviting them to invest in our country dun sa mga ganong industriya. They said that they'd like to look into waste to energy, wastewater treatment. So these are possible investments in the Philippines. So all this, we have what we call Joint Commission on Economic and Trade Cooperation. Parang ito yung mga working groups that will continue to discuss itong mga cooperation on many aspects, many fields, on trade, investment, even on culture, people to people, and even labor. No? Even sa labor, pinag-usapan din yung hopefully magkaroon ng agreement. Ngayon, wala pang agreement. Si Dole, secretary natin, Sec Belio, is trying to firm up some agreements on possibly sending a fixed amount of Filipino workers to Russia. Marami ring workers kasi sa Russia ngayon. I think less than 10,000.
10,000. And ang sinasabi nila, majority of these Filipinos are undocumented. How do we resolve that?
Kaya that's why kailangan magkaroon na ng isang labor cooperation agreement para ma-legitimize yung mga Filipino na nagtatrabaho doon. I think, pero ang maganda rin naman natin narinig, for all these Filipinos yung na-meet namin, nung nandun kami sa hotel doon, nakakausap namin sila, lahat walang reklamo. They have good words for the Russian employers. Oo, maganda yung feedback, mabait, and hindi nagmamaltreat and all that. So,
but then, nandun pa rin syempre, Secretary, yung issue na kailangan maging legal yung stay nila doon.
Oh, pero yun na nga, despite na illegal sila, hindi sila namamaltreat. No? Yung iba kasi pag alam illegal, pwede kang pahirapan. No? Pero dito, maganda yung feedback so far. But kailangan maayos pa din yun.
Yung possibility na magkaroon ng labor agreement.
Yeah.
Do you see that happening in the future?
Oh yes. Hopefully within 1 year, magkaroon ng ganong agreement.
Okay. Pero Secretary, in terms of yung overall relation between the Philippines and Russia, you're expecting talagang mas strengthen na following the visit,
Oh, yes.
aside from the deals, of
Yes,
course.
yes, definitely.
Even in terrorist cooperation.
Anti-terrorism. Kasi malaking bagay yung with our president leading the delegation and leading this relationship building activities. Tulad nung experience din natin with Philippines, China, na after that, pag nag-usap yung mga presidente at may mga mandates sa lahat ng agencies under them, bilis na yung cooperation, nagpag-uusap after these mga visits na ganito. So, ano na to, mas lalakas talaga yung ating relationship. At ang follow-through nito, yun nga, yung mga agencies, itong Joint Committee on Economic and Trade Cooperation.
Okay. Secretary, balikan naman natin dito sa issues dito sa bansa natin. We have the African Swine Flu. Kamusta ang monitoring nyo in terms of yung prices, lalo na magpapasko, yung alam natin yung consumption ng ganitong mga klase ng pagkain?
Yung, in fact, for mga pork products, medyo affected nga sila. In fact, for pork prices, nung pumunta kami sa palengke last week, ang issue nga nila ay bumaba talaga yung demand. So kaya dahil doon, hindi talaga tumaas yung mga presyo ng mga pork prices. And ang worry nga nila, pagpasok nitong Pasko, alam mo na maraming pork products dyan. Una-una yung hamon. So ang demand projection nila, at lechon, demand projection nila bababa. So tulad ng mga processed meat products, sabi nila baka walang bumenta, so konti lang yung ipuproduce sila, something like 1/2 of yung usual volume. So, tinitingnan nila, ayaw nila magkaroon ng excess inventory na dadalhin nila at i-freezer nila up to the next year. So, talagang rin sila, maingat sila pagdating doon. But ang ating mga prices naman relatively stable. Kaya nga, ang baba ng inflation, 0.9, and tingin natin, magtutuloy pa ito dahil yung mga basic commodities, especially rice, malaking binaba na. Kaya itong mga pork prices, yes, mababa yan. But yung ibang may mga ibang dilata rin tayo, tumaas ang presyo ng ibang dilata, but not all brands, pero yung ibang brands ay, kasi tumaas naman yung fish component, yung tamban. Yung tamban na dati below 20 pesos ay 30 plus pesos ngayon. Tin cans, yung mga ganyan. So, pagka gano'n naman, may mga price increase request yan na sinasabi din sa DTI para si DTI would try to negotiate na wag mo nang, let's say 1 peso yung increase na hiningi, gawing 50 lang. So, we negotiate in behalf of the consumers para hindi malaki kaagad yung adjustment. And maganda naman yung cooperation ng mga manufacturers. At saka, sabi ko nga, sila rin, each brand, ingat din sila magtaas ng presyo kasi baka mapunta sa kabila yung mga customers nila. Kaya alalay din sila sa pag-price adjustment.
Pero Secretary, yung assurance lang na namomonitor naman na hindi lumalabas sa market yung infected with ASF. Kasi nitong weekend lang may nahuli sa Quezon City na nagbebenta ng...
Kaya advice natin sa consumer, bumili sila dun sa, even sa palengke, nung bumisita kami, bawat stall for the day, merong NMIA certificate. Kung ano yung dineliver, may NMIA certificate yun. Yun ang hanapin po ng mamimili para masigurado nilang safe yung pork na bibili nila. Kasi andun pa rin yung pork na bebenta pa rin, pero may mga certificate. Kaya very safe yun, basta nandun yung mga certificate. Tsaka bumili sila sa trusted
So hahanapin talaga nila sa palengke
yes.
yung certification.
Pagka walang certificate, mag-iingat na sila kasi hindi mo alam saan galing
Even
yung...
sa groceries, no?
Sa groceries, sigurado meron. Kaya nga ito rin yung panawagan namin ni Secretary Dar, tungkol naman dun sa mga processed meat na ang rinig namin, maraming probinsya nagbaban na nito. Yung mga nasa dilata, yung mga luto na yan So, sinasabi namin, wag naman sanang i-total ban kasi mga cook na yan. So, hindi na carrier yan ng ASF. Pangalawa, safe na kainin naman for human consumption yan. So, certified yan ng FDA at saka yung ginagamit na raw material ay mga NMIA certified din. So, yun lang, para wag magpanik. Kasi pagka binan nila yan, baka magtaasan pa yung presyo ng iba. Oo, kaya
okay.
kailangan free flow lang tayo. Basta dun lang mag-source sa local sources na hindi affected ng ASF areas. So, si DA naman has issued guidelines din. Sino yung affected area so
Yes,
far?
Okay, we'll be taking another break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez. Sir, malapit na ang Pasko. A lot of people are already doing their early Christmas shopping and some are doing it online. So, kamusta ang monitoring niyo when it comes to online consumption of Filipinos?
Well, gusto pa natin mas dumami yung sa online transaction kasi yung sa Pilipinas nga, over 120 million may mobile phone. Mga 70+% meron na rin connection sa broadband, sa internet. Pero yung e-commerce rate, below 10% pa rin. No? So, sabihin, konti pa rin siguro yung may sanay or trust, may trust na nilalagay sa e-commerce, mamili. Or, bumili online pero yung e-payment, hindi payment, gusto COD. So, kulang pa din ng ano. So, that's why we are promoting din yung ng e-commerce sa atin. Sa ibang bansa, mas mataas yung e-commerce sa purchases. But having said that also, sa DTI, we have been receiving and acting on complaints already pagdating sa mga, let's say, buli ka online, tas defective yung product. Tulad sa pagbili nila sa regular store, pagka may consumer complaint, ina-attenda na rin ng DTI yon. At madami na din. Baka, yung statistics na binigay sa amin, mga less than 500, ang nare-receive na complaint and acted on. No?
500 every day or overall this year?
Year to date. No? Year to date yon. Sabihin, dumadami na din. Pero gusto natin less complaints dapat. So, yung mga defective products, pagka defective products naman, kaya suggestion din natin dito, bumili sila sa mga trusted platform. Yung mga malalaki naman, alam na natin yung mga platforms na yan. At doon sila bumili kasi pag doon, yung platform na yon will guarantee na yung replacement or repair or gano'n, they will have to talk to the resellers. Kasi yung mga sellers niya independent din. But somehow merong ang platform na may rating din yung sellers at
pero ngayon nga, Secretary, yung sellers lang yung dumidirekta ka if you're the buyer, 'di ba? Pag may mali, doon lang sa seller
Oo.
Parang hindi responsible yung
pero
yung platform.
Mga complaints na nakuha namin, pag yung platform ay let's say yung kilalang platform natin, may top 3 tayong kilala, kung pwede sabihin, sila Zalora, Lazada at si Shopee, they act on the mga complaints, consumer complaints.
But long term, what are we looking at in terms of regulation?
So dapat doon sila mag-complain at ma-address ng DTI yon. Long term, isa pang ina-address natin yung counterfeit. Ngayon, yung pagka-counterfeit, kasi yun naman yung in observance yung intellectual property rights. Yes. We want to assure yung mga consumers, pati rin yung mga manufacturers na protected yung mga intellectual properties nila. So, both on the trademark at saka sa mga patents. Kaya pagdating doon, meron kaming ipopropose din na legislation kung saan yung mismong nagbebenta will be also liable.
The platform?
The platform.
Okay.
Platform. Parang siya yung store. So, in the same way, online yan or kahit sa brick and mortar, pati yung store, let's say, yung mga malls na nagbebenta ng mga counterfeit, later on, maging liable na rin sila pag nag-allow silang magbenta ng mga counterfeit
kasi sa ibang bansa ganun, Secretary.
Para ma-strictuhan talaga natin yung mga fake counterfeit
When you say legislation, is that a new law or that's
law.
amendment to an existing law?
Might be in the new law.
What do you plan to call it? Do you have...
Wala pa po. Bali, our Intellectual Property Office, Philippines, will be, I think, meron ng ginagawang draft dyan para sa ating mga mambabatas.
Briefly lang, Secretary, may mga reports about yung mga online pautang naman, tapos parang pinapahiya daw yung hindi nagbabayad. Have you received complaints about that?
Sa amin po, actually, bumabagsak ko yata siya sa SEC. Kasi una-una, walang lisensya para magpautang. So, dapat talaga meron silang lisensya para magpautang. So, the SEC is running after them.
Pero may natatanggap na rin po ba kayong complaints about that?
Sa amin po, itong produkto product-related yung aming complaints na natatanggap.
Okay. kakalabas lang nito, Secretary, Pulse Asia, bumaba po yung trust rating and approval rating ni ni President Duterte from 85% approval to 78%, 85% trust to 74%.
Yeah, well,
Your reaction lang.
mataas pa rin po yun. So, alam niyo naman po,
Yes.
well, binabantayan din natin yan, pero hindi ho tayo ganyan ka-concern. Trabaho lang tayo ng trabaho at talagang ganyan, it moves up and down. But marami hong naiinggit sa trust rating na yan, kahit 78 pa yan or 81, 82. For the longest time, na-maintain ho ng Pangulo yan. And in general, pati yung government, may mga tumaas naman, no? May bumaba, may tumaas. But
yeah.
I think important thing, nasa high level naman tayo and tuloy pa rin yung trabaho.
Yung nabanggit lang ni Presidente sa Russia na meron daw siyang sakit na myasthenia gravis. You're an old friend, a good friend of the President. Is this a serious concern?
Hindi naman, no. Actually, hindi ko nga alam din yun at hindi rin halata. Ano? So, namin, napakalakas ang Pangulo. Siya pa nangunguna sa amin sa paglakad. Eh. So pagka papunta sa mga meetings at grueling yung schedule talaga. At even, we finish late at night up to 10 p.m., up to 11 p.m. And tuloy pa rin yung like meeting Filipino communities, yung nag-doctorate, na-award siya ng doctorate. Gabi yun mga ginagawa. And tuloy-tuloy yung, malakas yung Pangulo natin. Medyo hindi ako familiar dun sa sinasabi niya about the nerves and sa mata.
Yeah.
But if at all, hindi naman ho naapektuhan yung trabaho niya.
So you maintain the President is in good health right now?
Kita mo yung katawan, mga tigas yung build niya. So I think, siya, baka 30 more years.
30 more years. There's nothing to be concerned
Wala.
about the President's health. Okay, thank you very much to
Thank you.
Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Ruth Cabal. You're watching CNN Philippines.